to the cloud. Okay, we're set. Hello, everyone. Today is June 16th, and that's the official Harbor community meeting. I'm Orlin Vasilev, the community manager for Harbor, and I'm going to facilitate this meeting today. As this is official CNCF meeting, please follow the code of conduct from CNCF. Be respectful to the others, in short. So I'm going to share the agenda. We don't have much for today's agenda. Give me a second. Not this one, sorry. This one. And yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yep, all right. So since we don't have anything put in for the agenda for today, anyone with topics, so we can kick off this one. And as a reminder for the newcomers, if you feel like introducing yourself, that would be great.
I know we have an upcoming release happening next week. Do we have someone on the call that can talk about the new release?
Hey, Eileen and Jonas. Actually, we have an agenda for today's community meeting, which we previously communicated with Kong Fanjian, the hub maintainer. He submitted a proposal
yeah, my bad.
a few
Sorry,
weeks
I
ago.
didn't see that in
Yeah,
advance.
we have invited him to introduce this proposal in today's community meeting.
Perfect. Fanyan?
I'm here. It's
Yeah, Fanjian, please.
okay. Hi, everybody. I will share this proposal with Liang. He is a member of TCF from Tencent Cloud.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And first, I will simply introduce the proposal and the story, and then Liang will introduce arc, key features, and design. Okay, let's go. And most senior users know the time of pulling images take too long in the entry life cycle of container startup. At the moment, there is some image and serialization projects, but they belong to some special vendor or not active enough. Harbor is a well-known and very active community. Therefore, we propose create a fundamental sub-project in the Harbor community and a fundamental project. It will be maintained by the community. You could not worry about the owner destroy it. Just so. Let's talk about the story of the Aperture and the proposal name. We named this sub-project Aperture. To use it, third-rate container startup, we need a registry instance of the OCI artifacts at Harbor to storage and distribute Aperture special artifacts. Imaging is the administrator of the KBS cluster, Blake. he should install a special container D snapshotter for every Keybase work node. And Blake should sit in the network to let the work node could access the harbor. And a normal developer, Frank, should install toolchain our Aperture to build or convert Aperture special artifact and push the artifact to the harbor instance. And then the ops engineer should create a Keybase workload with the artifact. Okay.
Sorry for buzzing. Frank, do you need to share your screen?
I think I don't need a share screen. Maybe Diane should share the screen.
Okay.
I can stop sharing if needed. So
okay, it's the story of Aperture to accelerate container startup. Hi, Diane, are you online?
I'm here. Wait a minute.
Okay, it's your turn.
Could see my share screen?
Yep.
Okay.
yes, we can.
Okay, I will introduce our Aperture image acceleration architecture. You know, for some image acceleration, what we call image download on demand. We need 3 key points. One is addressable tar archive. We all know like *GZ or NIDAS. NIDAS use REFS. So we also have our image format, which can addressable. Is addressable. Our use Squash FS. This is a Linux file system in kernel, and it also can use FUs in user space. Squash FS is also used the libcd and is introduced kernel in 2. Sorry about that accurate kernel version. 2 is we needed the key point of 2 is we need FUs or other kernel file system to provide the root FS for container. So we just because we use Squash FS, so we use the we need our Aperture use FUs means which the component name is Aperture FUs to provide the container root FS. The third is if we use FUs, it is a user space file system. But when we overlay many of FUs layer, it is will decrease the performance on a file on lookup or other IOPS some operation. So we must pre-overlay some metadata for optimize this problem. So when we build container, which we use Aperture builder, we will pre-overlay some all blobs metadata. So we will to find every squash blobs metadata and merge it, use the overlay whiteout format, like overlay whiteout format is I think is character device, which major minor is also there. So we can pre-overlay to optimize the file lookup and some IOPS operation. So this is the key point of the image acceleration. Our workflow is the Aperture builder to build every squash FS blob from Docker storage and merge the every blob metadata to a new blob. Now we push this blob to Harbor or OCI compatible registry. And when we in node or in Kubernetes node, we can use containerd snapshotter, which plugin, which we call the Aperture snapshotter, to create a Aperture views to provide the image root FS and overlay and overlay a read-write layer for local file system like XFS or ext4fs to a read-write layer, and this is the completely a container FS. Our Aperture key image acceleration have some key feature. We can support multiple data source like a registry. It is Harbor or distribution or S3 API and POSIX compatible file system like NFS or some others. And we will have local file system cache. So when we on demand download some data block, we will to put them to the local file system. We will compatible with OCI image spec. We have some 4 is the high reliability. This is our key feature from other like FUs some project like StarGZ or NIDAS or other our FUs process can be recovered by our like master process. Because the FU's process in user space provides the root FS if the FU's process crashed or other problem, the container will will have some master will have some problem immediately. So we have some how to say some kind of feature to fix this. The fact is we can prefetch because of some like a glibc or others key SO in the image. We will find the prefetch the data block when container start. It is the download from the registry or data source. It didn't on demand download. 6 is the prepare. We will prepare metadata overlay. So this is we can we call it merge meta. 7 is we have the data block checksum because we download every data block from registry through network. We must have the checksum. So currently we use the checksum. We use the compress algorithm to do this, like LZ4. 8 is the we can integrate the P2P system. So now we will only support our Tencent TKE P2P. We will support other like Dragonfly or Kraken in future. Our workflow is the container D use Aperture snapshot to execute pod creating command or image pooling command. 2 is Aperture snapshot will use Aperture FUs to construct containers root FS. 3 is Aperture FUs pull the merge meta layer which superblock stored in. Then Aperture FUs will know mapping between files and different layers and blocks. For its Aperture supports Harbor registry, object storage and local POSIX file system as a backend data storage layer. 5 container D create container or pod in virtual read-only rootfs which provide from Aperture FUs and use overlay FS to mount a read-write upper layer for container. 6. When the container start, Aperture FUs as a file system will receive actual read request and find out whether there is a corresponding data block cache locally and return data from the local cache firstly. If data block has not been cached, it will read block from data source. Design. Our design is you can consider is extend squash FS. The super block is the squash FS add a blob table, which is inode table, director table, fragment table, UID GID table, extra attribute table is from squash FS. We just add the blob table. Inode table is also inode table. We just add inode table. In inode table, we add the inode header. Inode header, we just add the blob index from the squash FS, so it can direct file from a different blob. So inode type we also support a directory file, symbol link, block device, char device, FIFO, and socket. We have the directory table. It also is orange squash FS directory table. We also will add the blob index. Our blob table is from blob ID. With blob ID is int. No, blob ID is our SHA. Blob index, blob ID. Fragment table. Fragment table is also from Squash FS. Artifact format. Aperture also support OCI manifest, so we also need our media type for Aperture, like application vnd.oci.image.layer.aperture.blob.v1. Uses our snapshotter will reconnect the Aperture OCI artifact and use on-demand and create FUs to on-demand image. So I will be okay. This is my introduce. Some questions?
Have you deployed apparatus in production, or is it just a design or POC?
Currently our only have a POC. As our background is our when we only support Squash FS and data source is CNFS. We use the production, but data source we want to extend the data source from registry and S3. We must use FS, FUs. This is on POC.
Okay, and I'm not very sure about this snippet you pasted of the manifest.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, based on the OCI convention, the media type of the config blob should be changed to some Aperture specific media type. We need to go back to the OCI artifact. And I think they have a process for you to register a new media type. Because
you confuse. Okay.
Yeah, because we use this media type to for identifying different kind of artifacts. That makes sense. So if you name it as a Docker container image, Harbor will think it's a Docker container image.
Okay.
If it's not.
Okay. Is config.json's media type?
I think it is this, but yeah, I think we need to double check offline with other maintainers. But there is a kind of convention in the OCI community that we want to follow.
Okay, but for container D, CRI and other snapshotter, it only support
okay, it must be the
application.
container image.
The container image, the v1 plus JSON. Others, it's CRI will refuse.
Yeah, that will be a problem if you push it to Harbor, because Harbor will think it's
okay. So we can this is our reason for we need sub project, and it's coupled with Harbor. So
I don't quite understand why it has to be honest. Maybe I missed some, a previous discussion, but it doesn't seem, personally, I'm not very sure why it should be put under Go Harbor, because Harbor is a, registry, and I think this justify a new org if you want to open source it. You can have, Aperture builder and Aperture.
I want to share some background. We have some offline discussion. I don't think we needed to discuss this topic here.
Okay, because this will create some conflict. I just want to point out. For example, this image cannot be scanned, cannot be signed. Many of the workflow Harbor supports, it's broken for this new type of image. But yeah, we can continue the discussion. Sure.
So for my opinion, I know our Harbor will build a image acceleration work group. Is this Steven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I want to share some information. After the discussion of this proposal. Yeah, as you mentioned, we have set up a work group to working on the image acceleration. I think the task mission of that work group is we want to provide an integration solution to let Harbor leverage, different image acceleration tools or image accelerator to, to convert the normal or regular image to accelerated format, and then the user can, pull the image in a different, in a accelerating way. I think the mission of that work group is not to, it's focused on the integration. It's not, working on some new accelerator. That's different mission. I want to clarify. This is the proposal we are discussing here is totally different with the mission we will do in the work group. The work group is, the goal of the work group is providing the integration. Of course, if this Aperture, right? Aperture, this new accelerator is ready, it can also be integrated, into Harbor with the general, integrating framework.
But if you look at the stories by Frank, it doesn't seem it's necessary because it can build locally. It doesn't need to pull image.
So
Frank, yeah. I mean, Frank can just, I assume Frank can install Docker and build Docker image via Docker file, then use Aperture builder to build its Aperture image. So it doesn't need any registry to do the conversion.
Does it? I'm a little confused. So the Aperture, let me operator, right?
Operate.
Yeah. We'll build the operator format, right? And that format, image format, will also be pulled to the registry for management and the storage, right?
Yeah, but I think the story with Nidus is that Nidus will pull image from Harbor and do the conversion. But if you read this section, it doesn't need to pull any image. It just do the building locally because it read the content of the image from the Docker's local store.
So,
but if it's not an operator format, so
yeah, my point is their workflow is not exactly the same as other accelerator like Nidus.
So you say this workflow is same as Nidus?
I mean, it's not the same.
Not the same.
Nidus, yeah, because Nidus need to pull the image first. But in your case, you don't need to pull the image, right?
I think it's this workflow, Aperture workflow also need the Docker local storage.
Yes, but Nidus doesn't need it. So this is still different because Nidus can pull the layer without loading it to Docker local storage and do the conversion. That's my understanding anyway. But for your case, you don't need to pull any image because you can build it via Docker file locally and do the conversion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think this is just a little bit different from Docker local and the registries from a tar layer. That's like a whiteout file, some different.
Yes, but I mean the workflow proposed, I think in another PR, it's not necessary for Aperture.
Yeah, Aperture also can support from first pull. Yeah, little bit different.
But we need to think which is a better workflow. Like, do we, suggest user to build it locally, or do we, tell user you need to do the conversion? I personally prefer the Aperture way because if we need to do the conversion, like we need to push the Docker image to cover first and do the conversion. We need to think how we associate these two images because they have the same content. And we need to tell user this fact. But if we do this in the Aperture way, we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I did not fully understand why you just build the image locally and you do not need to pull it.
Yeah, because
every time you deploy your image to multiple, thousands of around time, you build it every time. I'm a little confused.
I think it build into the Aperture format and it will push to Harbor.
Yeah.
But it is But it is not a Docker image, right? It's different from the OCI Docker image definition, even though using the same media type. I don't think they are the same.
Yeah. So I just want to point out the difference in the workflow.
Can you scroll up and show the full diagram?
Yeah, if you see the diagram under the architecture section.
Can you scroll up? Yeah.
It doesn't need to do the pull first.
Yeah.
You can directly read from a registry.
It can, but it doesn't have to. Yeah, I mean, you can pull image first, load it into the Docker local store and do the conversion, but it's not necessary.
We can use the local file system.
Yeah.
But for repeatedly distributed, why we need to build repeatedly when we use it?
Yeah, like we construct a Squash FS file. We can from the local file system and merge the old Squash FS metadata. But it's like a little different, I think little different from Nidus or other StarGZ. StarGZ use the CTR remote, I think. But it also others build acceleration image build tool and master from the image, but operate can from local system.
Yeah, I see it's totally possible. You can create an operate file if you want to get rid of Docker. That's totally doable, right? You just
yeah.
But anyway, for a large scale distribution, you need a central node to distribute the similar content, right? Even it's
No.
just a file.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like content replication, you push one copy of the content to the central node, like it's a registry or a HTTP server file server, and then synchronize or replicate to the local cache. Then the container runtime can read it from local. What I mean is you do not need to to repeat the building process. I think for most part it's similar to Nandas. Just actually in Nandas they have a agent in the container runtime, right? Here they use the local file system.
Yeah. We also have the local file system like other image acceleration project like StarGZ or NIDAS. A local is a master local system. A local cache is necessary.
Okay, as we have mentioned, StarGZ Nandas. So what's so from your side or from your opinion, what are the better parts?
Better parts.
Nandas than the StarGZ. We have StarGZ Nandas. Why?
Okay.
We choose this solution. So
I know. I think the key feature is I've used recover mechanism. This is a big, the most different from other project.
What's the most difference?
This StarGZ or NIDAS just use libfuse or just libfuse and connection with kernel. But when fuse process is down or crash, the pod is or container is down, and although we remount the fuse.
I'm sorry, folks, we're getting a lot of echoes and a lot of noise. Could you please somewhere a little more quiet?
Continue.
I think you sit side with Frank, right? Frank need to mute.
Frank? Fanjian?
Hi, I'm here. What's wrong?
You need to mute.
Okay, I will continue. Even though NIDAS remount the fuse rootfs, the pod also crashed. They cannot continue to read some file or others. But Aperture's fuse we invite us a mechanism. This word mechanism. This also a mechanism. Although the fuse process crashed, if we will the container is IO hung, and when we remount immediately remind the FUs the container the container root FS will also can be read right, because FUs and the kernel communicate with the FD. If the FUs process down, the FD will be released. We have like a babysitter process to hold the FD, and we have some snapshot and request tracking to hold some open FD in FUs and lost request in FUs. We do this also from a paper like refuse, but this is just a paper, not a project. But when we talk about container root FS is master read-only file system. This can decrease our developer how to say 难度. So it's read-only file system will be easier. Recover FUs in read-only file system will be easy will be easier, more easier than read-write file system. I think this is the most different from StarGZ and NIDAS. We want a project which is a production ready.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
I think
Okay.
we have discussed a lot, so maybe we can continue the discussion of this proposal in the PR, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry. Anyone? I think Vadim has a PR that needs attention. Vadim, do you want to discuss it right now, or?
Yeah, hello everybody. So hello.
Hi.
Yes, I have this PR open still since some time, and yeah, for us it's a bit of a burden, and there is a lot of users requesting it on the issue, and I've mentioned it already last time, and I honestly I don't want to be too pushy, but it's kind of a small issue, and I would like to help you kind of make a decision how this can be approved, or help you to get it approved. We can jump on a kind of a review session together with someone from the Harbor team, and I can demonstrate how this is working, what problems it does solve. I also mentioned it in the PR request, but yeah, I would like to see if we can kind of resolve it together.
Do you want me to share it so we can?
Yes.
I think we went over it once. Give me a sec.
Yeah, we went over it once, and it's basically a simple feature, but it allows to use robot accounts for replication, and this is for us helpful, or for our customers helpful, to have a kind of global Harbor cluster where images are replicated across different locations and zones, and it also help us to create a new pull request that we are currently building, which makes like proxy caching of GHSR on GCR possible, because this is not possible at the moment. And yeah, because the robot accounts are essentially because you don't want to use a system administrator credentials for the replication.
Can you see it? I'm sorry, I'm just having too many windows open, but
okay, yeah. So this actually allows not to have multiple. So this allows to use robot accounts for API access and replication instead of using the system administrator account to do so.
You can share my screen if you want.
I think I have shared it, or I don't.
It's still idling.
So it's still black.
Yeah.
Ah, sorry. Okay, I don't know how that happened. It asked me if I want to stop sharing his. I said yes. Jonas, can you try? Or should I try again?
Now it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to provide as much information as possible, and Abigail asked me to write documentation. About. I mean, it's not a feature per se. It's more of a bug fix because it's really a tiny function change, but it allows multiple use cases, to make it possible. Basically, use robot accounts for API access or for replication, and so I can write about, make a block entry or some entry in documentation how to use robot accounts for API access, and this is basically what happens here. So we made this little change, and this allows us to use robot accounts for replication from one
So I
hardware
think
to another.
It's not really a matter of like how do we do it, right? It's a matter of should we do it. This was always the issue. Of like whether we should grant API access to robot accounts.
But it's already there, so it's not something that it's a new functionality. It's already there, and it's just basically fixing a bug because the function is called get projects and also get project, but it does get projects, which is in my opinion not correct. It should, so if you look at the code change, it's really just the 3 lines of code change. But I mean, in general, yeah, you're right. If you say you don't want to use robot accounts for API access, but then the question is, why do we use robot accounts for replication or for, yeah, or why can we not use robot accounts for replication?
So I think the concern, at least previously, it was because the replication has an endpoint, right? You're replicating from the source, excuse me, from the current hardware instance to another hardware instance if you're configuring push based, and then similarly you need credentials for the target instance if you're doing a pull based, and so any kind of credentials for the target registry instance doesn't even have to be hardware, right? It's like one of the many instances that we support, like the cloud registries or Quay or something like that. That responsibility really rests with the system admin. So at least it seemed like it wasn't appropriate for robot accounts to be able to configure replication. We also just sort of lock down the surface area of what a robot account can do. So I appreciate the PR, but we need to think about this a little more in terms of should we be doing this, and if we should, yeah, absolutely, we'll go ahead and merge this. That's sort of my recollection of because we've gone over this before.
Yeah, I understand that.
But we can consider it for 2.4. I actually added we're going through the 2.4 list of to-dos right now, actually, and I flagged this issue, so we will discuss it internally first.
Okay. No, I understand. All right. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Vadim.
Sure, thanks, Vadim.
All right. Any other topics to discuss?
Do we still have time? Yeah, I want to leverage 1 or 2 minutes to update the operator release. So.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me 1 minute. 3. Okay. Quick news. Yeah, we have released the hub operator 1.0.1. It's a patch release. Yesterday. Yeah, we released, and in this patch release, we introduced some, enhancements to the operator. I think there's some items can be highlighted. The first one is we support the counter as the ingress controller. And we also, to let the operators support in one operator version to support multiple harbor version, only the multiple harbor patch version. So one operator can deploy, multiple harbor patch version, not meta version. And we also fix some, bugs that when the harbor class CR is deleted, some, resources are not deleted. So we have fixed that. So welcome to use and welcome feedback. Thank you. That's all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Stephen. So what version of Harbor does it support exactly?
I think it's 2.2 .0, 2.2.1, 2.2.2. So all the
2.2
versions of the 2.2.
Okay. And you said it supports contour in the operator.
Yeah. You can configure a counter ingress controller in the operator to, to support the ingress of Harbor.
Thank you. That's great.
Okay, cool.
And when are we expecting to release 1.1? Is it?
I think the current for release the 1.1, the draft plan is middle of next month. Yes, middle of July. So in 1.1, I think the most feature is we support the new Harbor version, right? 2.3. So yeah, just 1 month later after the 2.3 is released.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
In that context, when is planned to release 2.3?
2.3 should come out this week.
Oh, great.
I think end of this week, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we planned for the beginning of next week because we're all out on Friday.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Jonas.
Yeah, maybe early
21st.
next week.
Okay. Alex, anything else, or we can close?
Yeah, we're we're close to releasing the 2.3, and we're going through the list of features requests for 2.4. So if you guys have any feature requests, anything you'd like to see, accomplished in 2.4, this would be the time to go into the Harbor issues on GitHub and creating an issue or adding comments to an existing issue. And yeah, I'll be adding some feedback to the list of issues that we're going to be working on, but feel free to ping me or to ping anyone in the channel. Yeah, so we're going to have one more minor release this year, right? So we'll probably we're looking at 2.4 right now, and we'll probably do a release right before the next KubeCon in October. It'll probably GA after KubeCon, right? As we usually do. We have a demoable FC build or an RC1 or RC2 right before KubeCon, and then we have the actual GA, a few weeks after that, right? So this is going to be the last one for the year. We don't know exactly how long, but that's roughly the timeline. So if you have anything you want to get done, if it's important, definitely, put it on the GitHub issues.
Is this concept with the satellites for Harbor, is it still planned for 2.4? Is it documented somewhere in the discussion? Because I tried to find it, but maybe I didn't look right, but I couldn't find any discussions on this in this regards. Is it still planned, or is it?
Are you referring to
discussion?
Are you referring to
Yeah,
like a lightweight instance, a lightweight Harbor?
Yes, exactly. That's kind of the edge Harbor concept.
It is being discussed, and it is part of our intention to release some version of that in 2.4. I don't know if we'll actually release it, but we're going to be working on it at the very least.
Yeah.
It'll either come out in a dot release of 2.4 or maybe later. But yeah, we do need it.
Yeah, is the discussion somewhere documented? Is it public, the discussion on the discussion board or on the community?
I don't think it's been discussed so much on Harbor, because the thinking is if we were to do it, it would be released under a repository of its own under the Go Harbor project. I can certainly pull you into those discussions. So
yeah,
we've been thinking about it a little bit in the context of what we need in our downstream products.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be good to move this to the upstream as early as we can. So thanks for bringing this up. And let's move this to a more more public forum for discussing the design. But it's essentially we're going to need a very lightweight instance of Harbor because the current Harbor is too large, and the satellite Harbor does not need the full suite of features that we have today in Harbor, right? So a lot of the gating mechanisms for pushing the images to that satellite instance, that all rests with the central Harbor, the Harbor deployed in your data center, right? And those satellite harbors are basically just receiving images. We're not really envisioning any kind of pushing images back from the satellite to the central. It's really just for running pure application workloads. And so also the things like scanning images, that should all be done on the central Harbor. It gets scanned, signatures are verified, and then it gets pushed out to satellite. And so trying to make the satellite as small as possible, because we know that the footprint for these edge nodes are very small at times. In most edge solutions, it's a 1U or 2U single server, with limited RAM and storage. So it's kind of the plan here. But yeah, let me get you more involved in those discussions with you.
Okay.
We're
this would be great.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for this update.
Thank you. And I think we're on time, so we can close, right?
Yep. Thanks everyone for attending. Thanks to Orlin for hosting.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
Bye. Bye.
See you.